Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing The Rescue from Season 2 of Doctor Who. Now this is a two-parter, and I've already done a review for Episode 1, but I'm going to go ahead and do a review for the whole thing. I really enjoyed this story, and it was a real treat for me because I really went into this one blind. As I talked about in my Episode 1 review, most stories I know something about going in, like say the Time Meddler. I already knew a lot of what was going on in it. I knew about the meddling monk and him being a Time Lord and having a TARDIS. You know, and a lot of classic Who stories that I haven't seen, I go in having foreknowledge of to some degree or another. But this one I knew nothing about. Just for some reason, this one just kind of flies under the radar, it seems like. Maybe it's because it's a two-parter. Because I know The Awakening's like that with me. Whenever I watch The Awakening, I'm going in blind. I know nothing about The Awakening. Don't mention anything in The Awakening in the comments. I like going in blind. So that was really interesting, seeing a story where I had no idea what was going on. Let's start off talking about Bennett. If you haven't seen my episode 1 review, if I don't have it in a little thing up here, then I'll have a link to it at the end of the video. Okay, I mentioned in my episode 1 review that I wasn't fully trusting this guy. I kept calling him Bertram. I think it's Bennett. Something with a B. The injured crewman that's there with Vicky. I knew that this guy just seemed shady to me. Something about it seemed off. I didn't trust him. You know, my spider sense was tingling. And sure enough, yeah, he's a prick. Since he's the one kind of behind everything. And I figured that out before the end of the story. When the doctor goes in to see him, and he's not in the room, immediately I'm like, red flag, red flag, red flag. And then when he opens the door and finds the tape recording saying, you don't come in here, oh, bigger red flag, bigger red flag, bigger red flag. And then there's the part where he can hear the conversations going on in the main room. He's basically spying on Vicky and what's going on in there. Even bigger red flag, bigger red flag. And then he finds the trap door. So the doctor finds the trap door knowing that Bennett can come and go as he pleases with nobody knowing. There is not a flag big enough or red enough. And I actually figured out that Bennett had to be Killian or whatever his name was. That's a Kilowog or whatever. That's a goofy name. I actually figured that out because once I realized that you can't come in here with a tape recording, I realized I never saw, I'm still going to call him Kilo and Bennett together. You never see them together. And so much so that, I mentioned before in my episode 1 review, I liked Kilo's design as a monster with the hands and the feet and the helmet. I really liked it. And then it occurred to me that it could be something somebody was wearing. Kind of like how in Modern Who, they've basically made it canon that the Ice Warriors' armor is just armor. That's not actually them. That's armor they wear. Same thing, I think, with the Silurians, which works. It makes sense. Especially with the Ice Warriors, it makes sense. Silurians. So that makes sense to me that it could be a human wearing a prop because it looks like someone, the alien looks like a human dressed in a costume. So it's nice that they kind of take the fact that the costume looks like a person in a costume and makes it actually a person in a costume. I like that. That's neat. So I wasn't surprised when it turned out to be him. I'll circle back around to that. I really like Vicky in this and the way she goes in this. Maureen is just really good. Her acting performance in this is good. She acts like a teenage girl would, somebody that's like 17 years old. How she gets upset when Barbara mistakenly kills her little pet space alligator. Or whatever it is. She gets upset about it, and Barbara was just trying to protect her. And I'm siding with Vicky there. I'm like, she's sitting there telling you not to shoot it. Like I was. There was a minute there I'm on Vicky's side completely. Even though I don't know Vicky as well as the others. I'm like, why did you shoot it? She has a right to be upset and angry. You shot her little pet. Then I started thinking, what if I saw somebody with practically an alligator about to attack them? Oh, no, don't do it. That's an alligator. Oh, it's my pet. You have a pet alligator? Why would you have a pet alligator? I don't get these people who have pets like, you want to come home and see my pet anaconda? No. What about my pet alligator? No. I don't get these kind of people. If you have a pet in your home that might eat me, I'm not going in your home. circling away from that, I'm getting off topic. I enjoyed watching that, and when the Doctor and Ian shows up, and when she asked them all to leave, Ian and Barbara leave to give her some privacy. And this is, I can't stress how much I love this next scene. It's probably one of the best things I've ever seen William Hartnell do as the first Doctor. I love this scene. Is when he stays behind and he talks to Vicky. I like when he looks at him, he's like, come here, John, come. And just that conversation he has with Vicky is so wonderful and so beautiful. And you really see William Hartnell as that kind grandfather figure, not an unearthly child, the Daleks' first Doctor, but this more soft-hearted, almost like he's seeing Susan and Vicky. And he's just lost Susan, and he's probably missing Susan, but he kind of sees some of that in Vicky, this young girl that's almost like a granddaughter. And you really see right here in this scene when he's talking to Vicky, he actually reminds me a lot of Peter Cushing's first Doctor from the movies. And I haven't watched the second movie yet, but I loved the first movie, Doctor Who and the Daleks. Because Peter Cushing's Doctor is a more kindly, grandfatherly, doting on the grandchildren type Doctor, a very family-friendly Doctor, which is not always what Hartnell's Doctor is. But in this scene, I very much get the fact that Cushing's Doctor and Hartnell's Doctor are two different versions of the same character. Like parallel universe versions of the same character. They're different, but they have similarities, and I really see that here. This is really reminding me of Cushing's Doctor seeing Hartnell being so kind to her. And I love that conversation, and I love how it continues when they get up away from the table and they move into the hallway to go into Bennett's room, and the Doctor's still talking to her, and he's like, well, it's a space alligator. You can't be mad at Barbara. I might have done it myself. And Vicky's like, no, you wouldn't have done that. You don't have a face of someone who could do that. And he's like, oh, you're saying that Barbara does? And I like how he sets her at ease and calms her down and diffuses the situation. That whole scene is one of my favorite Hartnell moments now. It's so well acted by William Hartnell. It's so well acted by Maureen O'Brien. It's so wonderful. It's very touching, very enduring, and I really get this grandfatherly sense from the first Doctor. As I was watching it at the part when they were in the hall, I was thinking to myself as I was watching it happen, this is a character that has definitely been a father, and this is a character that has definitely been a grandfather. None of that Looms crap. What is it, Longborough that brought in Looms? I've never read Longborough. I have no desire to, because I think the whole Looms thing is a stupid idea. Just stupid. Forget the Looms crap. This is a person who had a child and was a father, and then that child had a child, and he became a grandfather. And you could tell by the way he's talking to her that the Doctor has been a parent. He has been a grandparent, because he is talking to her like someone who has had children. And I love that, and it's so endearing to me, especially the first Doctor, because so many people have this preconception of the first Doctor as, the grumpy old Doctor, like he is early in his run, like in the Daleks and An Unearthly Child and most of Edge of Destruction, whereas there are scenes later in his run where he's so much softer and so much kinder, and that's really on display here, and I absolutely adore that. And I like how she apologizes to Vicky, Vicky apologizes to Barbara, and Barbara apologizes to Vicky, and they get to talking. And I absolutely love the camaraderie between Ian and Barbara when they're talking about time travel, and they're telling Vicky they're from the 1960s, and Vicky doesn't believe them. She's like, well, y'all must be like 550 years old, and naturally Barbara's like, well, I've never thought of it that way. And I love when Ian's ribbing her about it, and he's laughing and he's picking at her about it, and she kind of elbows him in the ribs a little playfully, like, up, and he just kind of takes it like, oh, and he's still laughing about that too. I love the camaraderie there. She just elbows him and he's still laughing like it's the funniest thing in the world. The camaraderie between them, because that's the kind of camaraderie you have between two really close friends, almost like best friends, or people in a very healthy relationship where you can poke fun at each other and play with each other playfully and laugh at each other. And I absolutely love that Ian and Barbara just have that rapport there. I really like them in this story. I really like how well they get along with the Doctor now too. There's little parts there when all three of them together and they're almost like a family and they're on the same page and they're practically finishing each other's sentences. You know, and it's so far removed from their first couple stories when the first Doctor didn't really care for them and they certainly didn't trust him, to see how far they've come and how well the rapport all three of them have together in this story. Like when they're all talking about wanting Vicky to stay, how they're all on the same page about it. I really enjoyed that. I like the Doctor going to confront Bennett. And when Bennett walks in still in the outfit, he's like, "Ooh, Bennett, yes, come on, do come in, come on in." I like how the Doctor just already knows. He's figured it out. Because of course he has. He's the first Doctor. And he's just like, "Yes, come on in, come on in. You know, this used to be the hall of something or another." And I like how he's just standing his ground. The Doctor's not afraid of him. He tells him, "Yeah, I know your plan. You did this. You killed all of these people." And, you know, Bennett... And that's another thing, because we only had Bennett's word for what happened. You know, we never had any other proof, so naturally Bennett lied, and he killed them all, or so he thought. The first Doctor, like, "You killed an entire planet just to save your own life. You're insane." I love that. That's right, First Doctor. And then when Bennett tries to fight him, the Doctor fights back. And I like the fact that there was a couple people on the planet that survived and how that freaks Bennett out. I wasn't quite sure what they were at first because they look human. And I didn't know the people on the planet looked human, though it had never said they didn't. The outfit we see Bennett wearing is just what he claims the people on the planet look like. The Doctor never said. So that's interesting. I didn't realize at first if they were crewmen from the ship who had survived. I thought they might have been ghosts the way they were dressed. I thought maybe when the Doctor had hit him with the sonic thing, maybe it had made him see hallucinations and they weren't really there and only he could see them. I wasn't quite sure what was happening there. But I like the fact they scared Bennett so much that he basically accidentally stumbled off the cliff. You hear him, "Ah!" and he falls off. Whether he dies from the fall or he dies from the creature that's down there, who knows. But yeah, I couldn't understand why he was that afraid unless he thought they were already dead. And of course, when the Doctor sees him right before he passes out, then I'm like, okay, they're probably not hallucinations. Are they ghosts? Are they... It's not until the end of the episode when they destroy the communications in the ship to keep other people from landing, and Hartnell explains how it's their planet now, they want it back, they're not going to let anybody land here. I realize, okay, they are the aliens, they just look human. Which is fine. I mean, the Doctor's an alien, he looks human. Or else we look Time Lord, however you want to look at it. So that's perfectly believable. I'm glad they did take the time to answer that, so I wasn't confused. And I like Vicky's reaction to stepping into the TARDIS for the first time. It's always nice to see but it's smaller and it's bigger, and it's always nice to see how different people react to that and the wonder on her face. And I like the little talk the first Doctor has with her right there at the end about, "You should come with us. You'll be among friends." I love the fact he says friends. He calls her friend. He hardly knows her, but he calls her friend. You'll be among friends. Is that he uses the word friends so readily and so easily now. And again, he probably sees some of Susan in her, which I understand with Susan having just left. I like that. I like how he does take to Vicky so quickly. I find that very endearing. And I like the little cliffhanger, how he materializes. Another smooth landing, and it's right there on the edge, and the TARDIS topples over. That's funny to me. So I really enjoyed the rescue. It's interesting because these two-parters like this, they're pretty much the same length as a standard episode of Modern Who. Whereas some episodes of Modern Who, which are phenomenal, some of them are phenomenal, but some of them are Deus Ex Machina rushed. This one doesn't feel like that. Even though it's the same length, it feels the perfect length. It's not like the story has to be rushed at the end because they ran out of time, like some of Modern Who is. Not all. There's plenty of great episodes of Modern Who. But even some of the good episodes of Modern Who do have that kind of rushed ending. It's not here. Everything feels paced really well. It uses its two parts quite effectively. So I really enjoy that it just doesn't seem like it wraps up super fast like that. You know, it wraps up on its own time, in a well-paced time that I like. I really liked when the Doctor first stepped into that hall, too, that sacred hall. Because the first time I saw it, it made me think of something from a cartoon show I like. So when he's walking into it, I kept expecting a blue mummy in a red cloak to walk out, mumbling, "Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form," and then turn into this guy. Because that little area, just the first time I saw it in that one shot, really made me think of Mum-Ra's tomb. I don't know why, but I just, in my head, I'm a huge Thundercat fan, especially of the 80s cartoon, although I like the 2011 one too. Obviously, I'm a big Thundercat fan. I have a lot of the vintage LJN toys from the 80s as well put up right now, but you can see them in some of my older videos. So I started thinking of Mum-Ra's tomb, so naturally I'm like, oh, this could be creepy. What's it going to do here? And it was still good. I liked it. So yes, The Rescue. I very much enjoyed it. I think it fills out its two parts well. I really liked Maureen O'Brien as Vicky in it. I really enjoyed Ian and Barbara in it. And I loved Hartnell in it. And that scene between Hartnell and Vicky, or the first Doctor and Vicky, when they're sitting at the table and he talks to her, and then they talk later in the hall, is probably one of my favorite first Doctor scenes. It's so endearing, and I absolutely love it. So, The Rescue. What do you think of it? Have you seen it? Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on it, because I do always enjoy hearing from you guys. Other things to do. Click the like button and the subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I want to give a special shout out to one of my subscribers and patrons, the Flyattractor. He did send me this DVD, which has The Rescue and the Romans on it. That was part of what he sent me in the last package he sent me. He also sent me the novelization of The Rescue as well, which I will read at some point and get a review done on. But I really appreciate him sending me that. I want to give a shout out to two of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane and the Fifth Doctor. I appreciate their continued support. If you would like to send me anything, there is my P.O. box is down in the description below. I would certainly appreciate anything you would like me to look at. I also do have a Patreon, as I mentioned. A link to that is down in the description below as well, with several different tiers and rewards to choose from. I also have an Amazon wish list. There's a link to that down below. I update that regularly. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.